Hi, everyone, and welcome back. You know, we all love to talk about the future. So today, we're taking a deep dive into the world of internet connectivity, specifically 5G and what might be coming next. I think this is going to be a really fascinating deep dive. So let's jump right in.
Yeah, it's incredible to think about how much we rely on the internet these days.
It is.
And it's only going to become more and more important as we move forward. And, I think it's sometimes good to take a step back and look back at how we got to where we are today.
Right.
To maybe give us some insight into where we might be going.
Absolutely. And we've got a ton of research here, articles and stuff that map out the evolution of internet connectivity. I mean, it really wasn't that long ago that we were all struggling with those huge 1G phones,
Oh, yeah.
Just trying to make a simple phone call.
I remember those, the big bricks.
Yeah.
But that was just the beginning.
Right.
Then we got 2G, which brought us digital calls and texting, which felt like a huge leap at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Then 3G came along, and suddenly we had internet access on our phones.
Right.
We could browse the web.
Right.
We could connect with people anywhere.
Yeah.
And then 4G came along. It gave us the speed we needed for streaming video and all the apps we use today.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been quite a journey.
It really has. And now we're on the cusp of 5G, which promises to be even more transformative.
It does.
I keep hearing about speeds that are 100 times faster than 4G. I mean, that's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's amazing, but it's not just about speed.
Right.
5G is going to change so many things.
Yeah. What really intrigues me is the potential of 5G in healthcare. I read about that remote brain surgery in China a few years ago. Wasn't that powered by 5G?
Yeah, that's right. The surgeon was actually hundreds of miles away from the patient.
Wow.
Controlling robotic arms with incredible precision. And that was only possible because of 5G's extremely low latency.
And what exactly does that mean, latency?
Latency is basically the delay between, sending a signal and receiving a response. And with 5G, that delay is incredibly small, like a millisecond or less. To put that in perspective, the blink of an eye takes about 300 milliseconds.
So we're talking about something that's almost instantaneous.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's incredible. And when you think about the implications for things like remote surgery, it's really mind-blowing.
Absolutely.
I mean, we could see a future where distance is no longer a barrier to receiving specialized medical care.
Exactly. Imagine specialists performing complex procedures from anywhere in the world using robotic systems and high-definition cameras or real-time monitoring of patients with chronic illnesses.
Right.
That could lead to earlier interventions and better outcomes.
Yeah.
Possibilities are huge.
It's really like science fiction becoming a reality.
It is.
But 5G isn't just limited to healthcare. It's also going to revolutionize how we experience our cities, right?
Absolutely.
We're hearing a lot about smart cities these days, but what does that actually look like in practice?
Well, think about cities like Seoul or Singapore. They're already using 5G to manage traffic flow in real time, optimizing routes to reduce congestion and emissions.
Wow.
And 5G is also being used to create smarter security systems with connected cameras and sensors that can respond to incidents more effectively.
Okay.
And, it goes even further than that. Imagine streetlights that adjust their brightness based on real-time conditions, saving energy,
Right.
reducing light pollution.
That sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Like a truly intelligent city. But I'm curious, doesn't all this connectivity require a pretty massive infrastructure overhaul?
Yeah, you're right. It's not just about upgrading our phones.
Yeah.
We need a whole new network of small cell towers to really unlock the potential of 5G.
And what are those exactly?
Well, they're basically mini cell towers with a shorter range than traditional towers,
Okay.
but they can handle much higher data speeds. And we're going to start seeing them everywhere, on lampposts, buildings, even bus stops.
Oh, wow. So they're going to be pretty ubiquitous.
Yeah, they will be.
I can already imagine some people complaining about that, like those early days of cell phone towers when people were worried about aesthetics and property values.
Yeah, I get that. But the benefits really do outweigh those concerns.
Especially when you think about the possibilities for things like autonomous vehicles. Self-driving cars are going to need that rock-solid connection to navigate safely.
Exactly. Imagine a world where cars can communicate with each other.
Right.
And with the infrastructure around them to anticipate and avoid collisions.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And it's not just about safety, it's about efficiency, too.
Okay.
This level of connectivity could optimize traffic flow, reduce congestion, and make commutes much faster.
So no more traffic jams.
Well, some experts believe that widespread adoption of autonomous vehicles could actually lead to the end of traffic jams altogether.
Now that's a future I can get behind.
Yeah.
But with all this talk about the wonders of 5G, I think we also need to address the elephant in the room, the potential downsides.
You're right. It's important to consider those as well.
Our sources mention some concerns about security and the potential for cyber attacks. Is that something we should be worried about?
Well, it's definitely something to take seriously.
Yeah.
As we connect more devices to the internet, we create more potential entry points for hackers.
So it's kind of like having a bigger house with more doors and windows.
Exactly.
More opportunities for someone to break in.
Right. So we need to make sure we're taking the right precautions.
Okay, so what can we do to protect ourselves in this hyper-connected world?
Well, we need robust security protocols and encryption technologies built into every level of the 5G network. But it's not just about the technology. It's also about awareness. We need to prioritize cybersecurity education so that individuals and organizations understand the risks and how to mitigate them.
So it's a shared responsibility that tech companies need to build secure systems, and users need to be smart about how they use them.
Absolutely.
But it's not just security, right? I know there's also a lot of public concern about the health effects of 5G.
Yeah, that comes up a lot.
Specifically, the radiation it emits. Is there any evidence to support those concerns?
Well, the research we have so far indicates that 5G radiation falls well within the safety limits
Okay.
set by organizations like the World Health Organization. But, it's important to note that research is ongoing.
Right.
And long-term studies are still underway.
So we need to stay informed and follow the science?
Absolutely.
But not let fear and speculation dictate our decisions.
Exactly.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground on 5G, from the exciting potential to the challenges we need to address.
Yeah, we have.
But now I'm really curious about what's on the horizon. What's next for internet connectivity?
Okay.
Is there a 6G? And if so, what will it bring to the table?
Well, hold on tight, because we're just getting started.
Okay.
5G is really just the tip of the iceberg. We're already starting to hear about 6G, and it's promising to be even more revolutionary.
Really?
Yeah, we're talking about speeds that are 50 times faster than 5G, which is almost impossible to imagine.
Yeah, that's mind-blowing.
But speed is just one part of the equation. 6G is also expected to be more intelligent, more reliable, and more energy efficient.
So it's not just a quantitative leap, it's a qualitative one as well.
Exactly.
I'm definitely intrigued. I can't wait to hear more about what this future holds.
Me too. Let's dive in.
Yeah.
So, before we jump headfirst into the world of 6G, I thought it might be helpful to take a step back and explain how 5G actually works.
Okay.
It's easy to get caught up in the super fast speeds and the cool applications. But the how is pretty fascinating too.
Yeah, you're right. I've been so focused on the potential impact that I haven't really thought about the technology behind it.
Right.
So how does it work? What makes 5G so different from the previous generations?
One of the key differences is the way 5G uses different frequency bands.
Okay.
You can think of it like radio stations broadcasting on different frequencies. 5G uses a combination of low, mid, and high frequency bands. And each of these bands has its own strengths and weaknesses.
Different frequencies, like different lanes on a highway.
That's a good analogy.
Okay.
The low band frequencies are kind of like the slow lane. They can travel long distances and they can go through walls pretty easily. So they provide really wide coverage, but they offer slower speeds.
Okay.
Then you have the mid-band frequencies, which are more like the middle lane. They offer good balance of speed and coverage.
Okay.
Faster than low band, but not as far-reaching.
Gotcha.
And then there's the high-frequency band, also known as millimeter wave or millimeter wave.
Okay.
This one's like the fast lane capable of delivering those blazing fast speeds we talked about,
Right.
but has a really short range and can't easily go through obstacles like buildings or trees.
So it's kind of a trade-off, long range but slow, or short range but super fast.
Exactly.
So how do they make all this work together seamlessly?
Well, 5G is designed to switch between these different frequency bands depending on your location and the demands of your device. It's like having a super smart traffic controller for your internet connection, making sure you're always in the best lane for the optimal experience.
So the network's like thinking for itself, constantly adapting to give you the best possible connection.
That's a good way to put it.
That's really cool.
And it's only going to get more sophisticated as we move towards 6G.
Okay.
We're talking about networks that can predict and adapt to changing conditions in real time, using AI to optimize performance and even prevent outages.
It's like the internet of the future is going to be less like a static network and more like a living, breathing organism.
Yeah, constantly evolving and adapting to its environment.
That's wild. And even as we're talking about 6G, there's another technology on the horizon that's even more mind-boggling, the quantum internet.
Yeah.
we touched on this briefly in the last part, but I have to admit, it still sounds like something out of Star Trek to me.
I get that.
Can you break it down in a way that even I can understand?
Okay, so imagine you have two coins, and they're linked in a way that if you flip one coin to heads, the other coin instantly flips to tails no matter how far apart they are.
Wait, so you're saying that information could travel instantly anywhere in the world?
That's the idea.
But that seems impossible.
It does, right. But that's the whole thing about quantum entanglement.
Yeah.
These entangled particles are connected in a way that really kind of breaks our classical understanding of physics.
So they're like telepathically connected?
Yeah, you can think of it that way. And it's this instantaneous connection that makes the quantum internet so revolutionary. So by entangling particles and distributing them across a network, we can create channels of communication that are super secure and instantaneous.
It sounds like science fiction, but you're saying this is actually possible.
Yeah, researchers at MIT and Harvard are already working on early prototypes of quantum networks.
Wow.
It's still early days, but the potential is just incredible. Imagine a world where communication is not only ultra secure, but instantaneous.
No more lag, no more buffering, just pure instant connection.
Exactly.
That's wild. So if it's so amazing, why isn't everyone using it already? What are the challenges holding it back?
Well, the biggest hurdle is just how delicate quantum entanglement is. It's really hard to create and maintain over long distances. You know, these entangled states are easily disrupted by noise and interference from the environment.
So it's not just about building new infrastructure, it's about creating these really stable and controlled environments for these quantum networks to exist in.
Exactly. It's like trying to balance a pencil on its tip while someone's jumping up and down next to you. It's that delicate.
Wow. Okay, I get it. So what are some of the potential applications for the quantum internet?
Well, one area where it's already making an impact is secure communications. Because quantum entanglement is basically unhackable.
Right.
It can be used to create ultra-secure channels for transmitting sensitive information.
So governments, banks, anyone dealing with top secret data, this is like their dream come true.
Exactly. And it goes beyond security.
Yeah.
You know, imagine connecting quantum computers around the world,
Okay.
creating this global network of processing power that could tackle some of humanity's biggest challenges.
Wait, quantum computers connected through the quantum internet. This is like next level sci-fi stuff.
I know, right? But it's a future that's closer than you might think. This kind of interconnected network could revolutionize fields like medicine, material science, and AI.
Okay.
We could see breakthroughs in drug discovery, new materials with incredible properties in AI systems that are far more powerful than anything we have today.
That's pretty mind-blowing. But as we get carried away with all this amazing technology, I think we need to pause and consider the potential downsides as well.
Yeah, you're right. We can't just ignore those.
What are some of the risks we need to be aware of as we move into this hyper-connected future?
One of the biggest concerns is privacy.
Okay.
In a world where everything is connected, it becomes much harder to control who has access to our data and how it's being used.
Yeah, that's a scary thought. It's already hard enough to protect our privacy these days.
It is.
Imagine a future where every move, every interaction is tracked and recorded. It's kind of like living in a world without shadows.
It's a valid concern, and it's something we really need to think about as we move forward. We need to have serious conversations about data ownership, transparency, and accountability in this new era of hyperconnectivity.
So it's not just about the technology itself, but also the rules and regulations that govern it.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so what else should we be thinking about?
Well, another big concern is the potential for widening the digital divide.
Okay.
You know, as these technologies become more advanced and potentially more expensive, there's a risk that only the wealthy will have access to them.
Creating a two-tiered society.
Exactly. And that could lead to even greater inequality and social unrest.
So we need to make sure that everyone has a chance to benefit from this technological revolution, not just the privileged few.
Absolutely. Access to affordable and reliable internet is becoming essential for education, healthcare, economic opportunity, and even civic engagement.
It's like electricity or running water. We can't function as a modern society without it.
Right. It needs to be treated as a basic human right, not a luxury.
So how do we ensure that everyone has access to these essential technologies?
Well, it's going to take a multifaceted approach.
Okay.
We need government investment in infrastructure, especially in underserved communities.
Right.
We need to promote competition among internet service providers to keep prices down.
Okay.
And we need to support digital literacy programs to help people develop the skills they need to thrive in a digital world.
So it's about infrastructure, affordability, and education.
Exactly. Those are the key pillars.
Okay, so we've talked about privacy and equity. What else?
Well, we also need to be mindful of the impact of these technologies on the environment.
Okay.
As we connect more and more devices, the energy consumption of the internet is only going to go up.
So it's not just about connecting people, it's about connecting them sustainably.
Yeah, exactly. We need to start thinking about the environmental cost of all this connectivity.
So what can we do about that?
Well, we need to invest in energy-efficient technologies,
Okay.
promote responsible data usage, and really start considering the full life cycle impact of these devices and networks, from manufacturing to disposal.
So it's a pretty complex issue with no easy answers.
It is.
Okay, so it seems like we need to find a way to embrace the potential of these technologies while addressing these very real concerns about privacy, equity, and sustainability.
Exactly. It's a balancing act.
It is, but it's a challenge we have to take on.
Absolutely. The future of the internet is full of possibilities.
It is.
But it's up to us to shape it in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Well said. We've covered a lot of ground in this part.
Yeah, we have.
From the inner workings of 5G to the mind-boggling potential of the quantum internet.
Right.
But there's still so much more to explore.
There is.
So join us for the final part of our deep dive, where we'll step into a future where the lines between the physical and digital worlds are becoming increasingly blurred. You know, we've talked a lot about the evolution of the internet.
We have.
From those early days of dial-up to the incredible potential of 5G and beyond.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
But I think what's really fascinating is that we're not just talking about faster speeds and new gadgets. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how we live, work, and interact with the world.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We're on the verge of a new era where the lines between the physical and digital worlds are becoming increasingly blurred.
Right, and that has huge implications for everything.
It does.
From how we experience entertainment to the very nature of work itself.
Absolutely.
I mean, think about the metaverse, for example, this persistent virtual world where we can work, socialize, even attend concerts or visit museums, all from the comfort of our own homes.
Right.
Is this the future of human interaction?
Well, the metaverse is certainly getting a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And for good reason. I mean, it offers these incredible opportunities for connection and collaboration.
Okay.
Imagine students learning about history by actually stepping into a virtual recreation of ancient Rome.
Wow.
Or architects designing buildings in a collaborative virtual space where they can manipulate objects and see the results in real time.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is.
But I can't help but wonder about the potential downsides as well. What happens when we spend more and more time in these virtual worlds? You know, do we risk losing touch with real human interaction and the beauty of the physical world?
It's a valid concern, and it's definitely a conversation we need to have as these technologies become more integrated into our lives.
Right.
I think the key is finding a balance.
Okay.
We need to make sure that these tools are enhancing our lives, not replacing real-world experiences.
So it's not about choosing one over the other.
Right.
It's about finding ways to make them work together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Using the virtual to enrich the real and vice versa.
I like that.
Think about how augmented reality can overlay digital information onto the real world.
Okay.
You know, imagine walking down the street and seeing virtual reviews of restaurants pop up as you pass by.
Right.
Or getting real-time directions overlaid onto your field of vision.
Yeah.
It's about seamlessly blending the physical and digital to create a more informative and engaging experience.
I'm starting to see how this convergence of the physical and digital could really lead to some amazing things. But I'm also thinking about the potential impact on the workforce. You know, automation and AI are already changing the job landscape.
They are.
And it seems like this hyper-connected future is only going to accelerate that trend. Are we headed towards a future where robots take all the jobs?
Well, I don't think it's about robots taking all the jobs. I think it's about humans and machines working together.
Okay.
You know, there will definitely be some job displacement, but there will also be new opportunities created.
Right.
The key is to focus on developing the skills that are uniquely human.
So things like creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, empathy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those are the skills that are going to be in high demand in a future where a lot of the routine tasks are automated.
It's not just about learning to code. It's about learning to think creatively, to adapt to new situations, and to work effectively in teams.
That's right.
It sounds like the education system has a big role to play in preparing future generations for this new world of work.
Absolutely. We need to move away from rote learning and standardized testing and focus on fostering those essential human skills, encouraging curiosity, collaboration, and critical thinking.
So it's not about teaching kids what to think,
Right.
but how to think.
Exactly.
But it's not all doom and gloom.
No.
All of this technology also has the potential to create incredible new opportunities.
It does.
Not just in the workforce, but in every aspect of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Think about entertainment, for example.
Yeah.
How will hyperconnectivity change the way we consume and create art, music, and stories?
Well, imagine a world where you can step into your favorite movie or video game, not just as a passive viewer, but as an active participant.
Wow.
Imagine collaborating with musicians from all over the world in a virtual studio, or creating your own immersive experiences to share with others. The lines between audience and creator are going to become increasingly blurred.
It's like the democratization of creativity.
Yeah.
Everyone has the potential to be both a consumer and a creator.
Right.
That's pretty exciting.
It is, and it's not just about entertainment either. Think about the potential for scientific collaboration with researchers from around the world working together in virtual labs, sharing data and insights in real time.
Right.
Or the potential for global problem solving with people from diverse backgrounds connecting and collaborating to address the world's most pressing challenges.
It sounds like hyperconnectivity has the power to bring us closer together, to break down barriers, and to unleash human creativity and ingenuity on a global scale.
Yeah, that's the optimistic vision, and it's a vision worth striving for.
It is.
But we also need to be mindful of the potential pitfalls along the way.
Yeah.
We need to ensure that these technologies are developed and deployed in a way that is ethical, equitable, and sustainable.
That's a tall order.
It is.
But it's a challenge we must embrace.
Absolutely.
Well, as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm feeling a mix of awe and apprehension. It's clear that we're on the cusp of a technological revolution that's going to reshape the world as we know it.
We are. And it's up to us to navigate this new frontier responsibly, ethically, and with a sense of wonder and excitement.
Well said. As we step into this future, it's important to remember that technology is a tool.
It is.
It's up to us to decide how we use it, what we create with it, and what kind of future we want to build.
That's right. We have the power to shape our own destiny.
Well, on that note, we'll bring this episode of The Deep Dive to a close. We hope you've enjoyed exploring the future of internet connectivity with us. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and keep exploring the endless possibilities of the digital world.